Stop for a moment, my precious child. Do not scroll any further, and do not let the noise of the world pull you away from this stillness. This is not a mistake. This is not a random occurrence of an algorithm or a coincidence of timing. It is I, your creator, reaching through the digital veil to whisper directly into the depths of your weary soul. I have seen you searching, I have seen you wandering, and I have seen you hoping for a sign that you have not been forgotten. You have felt like a ghost in your own life, watching others move forward while you remain anchored in a harbor that feels more like a prison. But I am here to tell you that the winds are changing. Before I reveal the immense blessing and the restoration I am bringing into your life, I want you to acknowledge this divine appointment. Do not let this moment pass in silence. Declare your presence before me right now. Type, "I am here, Lord," or 7007 in the comments to open the gates of heaven and signal that your heart is ready to receive. If you truly believe that I am rearranging the very foundations of your life for your good, press the like button as an act of faith and subscribe to this sanctuary to stay connected to the flow of my living water. Your journey is far from over. In fact, the most glorious part is just beginning. I know the weight of the stuck feeling that has been crushing your spirit lately. I have watched you look at the world around you, seeing your friends, your family, and even those you do not know seemingly leap from one success to another, while you feel like you are treading water just to keep your head above the surface. You have asked me in the middle of the night through tears, "You thought no one saw, Father? When is it my turn? Have I been left behind? Have I missed the window of my destiny?" I want you to listen closely to my voice. You are not behind. You are being built. You are not breaking. You are becoming. The silence you have experienced was not my absence. It was my protection. Just as a seed must spend time in the cold, dark earth where no one can see it, your soul has been in a season of hidden growth. You have been growing roots deep into the bedrock of my grace, so that when the harvest comes, and it is coming, you will have the strength to carry the weight of the blessing without being uprooted by the winds of pride or the storms of life. Every silent tear you shed has watered the ground of your future. Waiting is never a denial of my love. It is the laboratory of my preparation. I am the God who makes everything beautiful in its perfect time, and my timing is never a second too late. Think of the mighty oak tree. It does not rush to reach the sky, for it knows that its majesty depends on the strength of what is unseen beneath the soil. You have been impatient because you see only the surface, but I see the grand design. I am aligning the hearts of people you haven't met yet. I am opening doors in cities you haven't visited yet. I am moving obstacles out of your path that you didn't even know were there. This period of waiting has been your training ground. I have been teaching you how to trust me when you cannot trace me. I have been developing in you a character that matches the magnitude of the calling I have placed upon your life. If I had given you the crown before you learned how to kneel, the weight would have crushed you. But now you are ready. You have passed the test of discouragement. You have remained faithful in the desert, and now the promised land is coming into view. I am the God of double restoration, and I promise you that for every year the locusts have eaten, I will give you back 2 years of plenty. For every moment of shame you endured, I will give you a double portion of honor. The world may have counted you out, but I have already counted you in. I am about to accelerate your progress in a way that will make the years of waiting seem like a brief shadow in the light of the morning sun. You are stepping into a season where my favor will run faster than your problems. I am restoring your joy, your health, and your peace. I am bringing a divine compensation for every injustice you have suffered. This is your moment of transition. The roots have grown deep enough, and now the sprout is about to break through the surface. Trust my process, lean into my love, and keep your eyes fixed on me. The miracle you have been praying for is already on the way, and it is more beautiful than anything you could have imagined. My beloved child, I see the heaviness that settles in your chest when you look at the numbers on your screen or the letters piled upon your table. I have watched you in those quiet, desperate moments when you open your wallet and find only the echo of what used to be there. I have seen you standing before the refrigerator, staring at the empty shelves, wondering how you will stretch the little you have to cover the needs of those you love. I know the cold grip of anxiety that wakes you at 3 in the morning, whispering lies that you will lose your home, that you will fail your family, and that you will eventually be left with nothing. I see the shame you carry, a weight you never asked for, making you feel as though your worth is tied to your bank balance. But I am here to tell you that your value in my eyes is not measured by the currency of men. I see your struggle, and I am not a distant observer. I am right there in the room with you, counting every penny and every tear. You feel like you are in a desert, a vast expanse of lack, where the sun of life is drying up every resource you once relied upon. The drought feels permanent, but I am the God who commands the clouds. Do not be afraid of the silence of your bank account, for I am preparing a table for you in the very presence of your fears. Think of my servant Elijah, whom I sent to the brook Cherith during a time of great famine. The land was parched, the crops were failing, and the world was weeping for rain. I did not send him to a palace filled with grain. I sent him to a lonely stream. And there I performed a miracle that defied all human logic. I commanded the ravens, birds that are scavengers by nature, birds that usually take for themselves, to bring him bread and meat every morning and every evening. I used the most unlikely messengers to carry the most essential provision. Right now, you may be looking for a traditional door to open a standard promotion or a predictable raise. But I am moving in the shadows, commanding the ravens in your life. I am touching the hearts of strangers. I am prompting old friends to remember you. And I am aligning accidental opportunities that will carry you through this season. The source of your survival will not be what you expect, but it will be exactly what you need. I am your provider, and I want you to understand a deep spiritual truth. Your job is merely a channel, but I am the source. Channels can dry up, industries can shift, and contracts can end, but the source is eternal and overflowing. When one brook dries up, it is only because I am preparing to move you to a new place of even greater abundance. Do not tether your peace to the flickering lights of the world's economy. Instead, anchor your soul in the unshakable reality of my kingdom. I am the God who multiplied the oil for the widow and the bread for the thousands. If I can clothe the lilies of the field in splendor and feed the birds of the air, who neither sow nor reap, how much more will I take care of you, my precious heir? You are not a victim of the economy. You are a citizen of heaven. The lack you see with your physical eyes is a temporary illusion. The provision I have stored for you in the spiritual realm is a permanent reality. Every bill that threatens you is already covered by the signature of my grace. Stop measuring your future by your current deficit. I am the God of the suddenly. Suddenly the phone will ring. Suddenly the debt will be canceled. Suddenly the resource you thought was lost will be restored to you with interest. I am weaving a tapestry of provision that will leave you breathless with gratitude. I am not just giving you enough to survive. I am preparing you to thrive so that you may be a blessing to others. The drought is almost over, and the sound of abundance is beginning to rumble on the horizon. Rest your heart, my child, because I am already moving, and the ravens are already in flight. I see the battle raging within your mind, my beloved child. I see you lying awake at the late hours of the night, staring at the ceiling while the inner critic within you shouts so loudly that it threatens to drown out my whisper. That voice of doubt tells you that you have missed your chance, that your mistakes have permanently disqualified you from the greatness I once promised. It points to the dry ground of your current circumstances and the cloudless sky of your prospects as undeniable proof that I have turned my back on you. But I saw you when you whispered a desperate help me into the darkness. I saw you when you tried to smile through the pain at work or with your family just so no one would know your heart was breaking with every step. I want you to know that the voice of doubt is not mine. It is a thief trying to steal the seeds of hope I have planted in your spirit. I am here to silence that critic. I am here to tell you that what you see with your physical eyes is not the final verdict. Your current situation is merely a snapshot in a much larger story, and I am the author of the entire book. Do not agree with the lies of the enemy. Do not agree with the spirit of lack. You are not a failure. You are a work in progress, and the master is still holding the brush. True faith is not believing after you see the rain. It is hearing the roar of the downpour while the sun is still scorching the earth beneath your feet. Remember my servant Elijah on the peak of Mount Carmel. At that moment, there wasn't a single cloud in the sky, nor was there a hint of moisture in the parched air. Yet he turned to the king and said, "Go eat and drink, for there is the sound of a heavy rain." He did not use his physical ears to reach that conclusion. He used the ears of his spirit. He heard the abundance of the blessing before the first drop ever touched the ground. I am calling you to do the same today. The world looks at your life and sees a desert, but I want you to look through my eyes and see a garden that is already preparing to bloom. The sound of abundance is already vibrating in the atmosphere around you. It is the sound of chains breaking, the sound of long closed doors swinging wide open, and the sound of healing rushing through your weary body. Can you hear it? It is the rhythmic beating of my heart for you, a heart that only knows how to give, protect, and restore. I want you to pause right now wherever you are. Stop the rushing of your thoughts and close your physical eyes. Take a deep, slow breath and let the tension leave your shoulders. In this moment of stillness, I want you to hear the blessing that is approaching. It is closer than your next heartbeat. Those dark clouds gathering on your horizon that look like trouble, they are not there to overwhelm you. They are heavy with the moisture of my favor. They are coming to wash away the dust of your past and to water the dreams you thought had died in the heat of the struggle. The very thing you feared, the storm, is actually the vehicle for your breakthrough. If you can perceive it in your spirit, you can possess it in your reality. Do not be afraid of the thunder. It is only the announcement of my power coming to your rescue. Let this be your quiet, holy moment of agreement with heaven, where fear loosens its grip and expectation rises again. The struggle you are currently facing is not meant to stop you. It is meant to sharpen your spiritual senses. In the dryness of the desert, your hearing becomes acute. In the silence of the waiting room, my voice becomes your only anchor. I have watched you persist, even when every logic and every person told you to give up. That persistence is what I call faith. It is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not yet seen. I am teaching you how to walk by faith and not by sight, for sight is limited by the horizon, but faith sees into the infinite possibilities of my kingdom. Every time you choose to praise me, despite the drought, you are digging a trench to hold the water that is coming. The deeper the trench you dig with your worship and your trust, the more of my glory it can hold. You are being prepared to receive a massive blessing, a flood of favor that will not only satisfy your thirst, but will overflow into the lives of everyone you touch. Your waiting is not wasted. It is a spiritual investment that is about to pay out a divine dividend. And as the sun continues to shine and the world continues to doubt your future, I want you to stand tall, my mighty warrior. You are not waiting for a maybe. You are waiting for a certainty. The rain is not a possibility. It is a promise. I am the God who does not lie, and my word does not return to me void. It will accomplish everything I sent it out to do in your life. Stay in this posture of expectation. Keep your ears tuned to my frequency, ignoring the static of the world. The drought has served its purpose in teaching you resilience and character. And now it is time for the refreshing. As we move forward into the secrets of my timing and the coming acceleration, remember that the darkness always precedes the dawn, and the silence always precedes the shout of victory. The atmosphere is shifting, and the clouds are full to bursting. Are you ready for the overflow? My child, you have been measuring your life by the hands of a clock that I created, yet you forget that I am the master of time itself. You live in what the world calls chronos, the linear, slow, and often exhausting progression of seconds, minutes, and years. You see the gray in your hair and the years on the calendar, and you fear the time is running out, that the window for your greatness has closed. But I want to introduce you to Kairos, my divine appointed time. Kairos is the moment when my eternity intersects with your history. It is the moment when the not yet becomes now. I am stepping into your situation to collapse the distance between your labor and your reward. You have been walking in the slow, heavy rhythm of the world, but I am shifting you into the supernatural rhythm of my grace. In this season, the rules of linear time no longer apply to you. I am removing the limitations of too late and too long. I am the God who can do more in a single second than 1,000 years of human effort could ever achieve. I am the God who can restore 40 years of wandering in 40 days of favor. Trust me, for I am about to change the pace of your life forever. I am bringing you into a season of divine acceleration so profound that it will leave you in awe of my power. My word through the prophet Amos declared that the days are coming when the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes shall overtake him who sows the seed. This is that time for you. Typically, there is a long, grueling gap between planting and harvesting, between the conception of a dream and the reality of its fulfillment. But I am merging the seasons of your life. You will still be sowing your seeds of faith, prayer, and hard work when you find yourself already standing in the middle of a massive harvest. I am bending the very fabric of time for your sake. Those career goals you thought would take another decade to reach, I am bringing them to your doorstep in the next few months. Those skills you thought would take years to master, I am pouring wisdom and supernatural insight into your mind overnight. You are not just moving forward, you are being catapulted into your destiny. What others struggle for an entire lifetime to build, I will cause to sprout and flourish for you in a fraction of the time. This is not because of your speed, but because of my favor. Listen to me closely, for I am speaking to those of you who feel trapped in the red tape and the bureaucracy of this world. I see the legal battles that have drained your spirit, the visa applications and residency papers that have been gathering dust on a forgotten desk, and the debts that feel like a heavy chain around your neck. I am the supreme judge of the universe, and I am stepping into the courtrooms, the boardrooms, and the government offices on your behalf. I am touching the minds of those who hold the pen, causing them to move your file from the bottom of the stack to the very top. I am commanding signatures to be placed on documents that have been stuck for years. Where the world said, "No," I am writing a yes that no man can erase. Where there was a wait, I am declaring proceed. Within a matter of days, you will see breakthroughs in your legal and financial affairs that defy all logic and earthly probability. This is the power of divine acceleration. I am settling the scores and clearing the path so that you can run the race I have set before you. I am the God of the breakthrough, and I am removing every obstacle that has slowed your momentum. The debt that would have taken 20 years of your life to pay off, I am providing a way for it to be canceled or cleared in one divine moment of provision. The stagnation you have felt is being replaced by a holy momentum. You will look back on this month and realize it was the turning point where everything began to move at the speed of light. Do not be afraid of the speed, for I am the one steering the ship. I am strengthening your inner man to handle the weight of this rapid promotion. You were built for this moment, and you were trained for this pace. The years you thought were lost were actually the fuel for this upcoming explosion of favor. Prepare your heart, prepare your house, and prepare your expectations. The plowman is overtaking the reaper in your life today. Your time of waiting has transitioned into your time of arriving. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about the power of the suddenly. You have spent so long in the shadows, in the damp and lonely places of life, that you have almost forgotten what the sunlight feels like upon your face. You have felt like my servant Joseph, who sat in the dark silence of an Egyptian prison for years, forgotten by those he helped and wrongly accused by those he served. I saw the iron chains that chafed his soul, and I see the invisible chains of stagnation that have chafed yours. But I want you to remember this Joseph went to sleep as a prisoner and woke up as the second most powerful man in the world. He didn't need a 10-year plan. He needed one divine appointment. In a single afternoon, the smell of the dungeon was replaced by the fragrance of royal perfumes, and his rags were traded for robes of the finest linen. I am the same God today as I was then. I am preparing a shift in your status that is so radical, so swift, and so complete that your enemies will not even recognize the person you have become. Your suddenly is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of my timing, meeting your preparation. This is the logic of my restoration. I do not just give back what was taken. I return it with divine interest. Through the prophet Joel, I promised that I would restore the years that the swarming locusts have eaten, the years of your youth that felt wasted in grief, of the years of your career that felt stolen by unfairness, and the years of your heart that were consumed by loneliness. You think those years are gone forever, but in my kingdom, nothing is ever truly lost. I am the master of the harvest, and I am packing the blessings of a lifetime into this new season of your life. When I restore you, I do not just put you back where you were. I catapult you to where you were always meant to be. The wisdom you gained in the dungeon will be the very thing that qualifies you to lead in the palace. Every betrayal you suffered was actually a setup for a step up. You are not just recovering. You are being promoted to a level of influence and security that you could never have reached without the trials you endured. If you are ready to receive this sudden promotion and step into your palace season, I want you to act now. Press the like button on this video to expand your heart and signal to the heavens that you are open to my shift. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss the next cosmic signal I am sending to guide your steps. By joining this family of faith, you are positioning yourself in the path of the coming rain. I want you to declare your faith in the comments right now. Type "My suddenly is here" or 1111 to activate the Joseph anointing over your life. Believe that even as you are watching this, the royal chariots are being prepared to come and fetch you from your place of lack. The king has remembered you, and the doors of the palace are swinging wide. I see you, my precious one. and I know the secret prayers you've whispered when you felt you couldn't go on. I saw you when you stayed faithful in the little, even when the much seemed like a distant dream. Because you have passed the test of the dungeon without bitterness, I am now entrusting you with the keys to the treasury. The change you are about to experience is not just for your comfort, but for the preservation of many. Just as Joseph was positioned to save nations, I am positioning you to be a source of life, wealth, and wisdom for your family and your community. The weight of the blessing is heavy, but my grace has made your shoulders strong. Walk with your head held high, for the prisoner of yesterday is the ruler of today. Your season of hiding is officially over, and your season of reigning has begun. I see you when you stand before the mirror, my precious child, and I see the silent conversations you have with your own reflection. I see the way you sigh at the weariness in your eyes, the way you count the lines that the years of struggle have etched upon your face, and the way you look at yourself with a critical, unforgiving lens. You see a person who has been weathered by the storms, someone who has made far too many mistakes to be considered great, or someone who has simply become average in a world that demands perfection. You see broken, you see tired, and sometimes you even see failure. But I am here to interrupt that narrative. I want you to look again, but this time I want you to look through my eyes. I am the great artist, the weaver of souls, and I do not see a smudge or mistake. I see a masterpiece in progress. Every scar you carry is not a mark of shame. It is a testament to a battle you survived. Every tear you have shed has not diminished you. It has deepened the beauty and the capacity of your spirit. I am here to heal the way you perceive yourself, to wash away the toxic labels that the world, your past, and even your own mind have placed upon you. You are not defined by your bank account, your relationship status, or your age. You are defined by my love for you, and that love declares that you are exquisite. You are not a random act of biology, nor were you a mistake of timing or a byproduct of chance. Before the foundations of the world were laid, before the stars were flung into the velvet of the night, I knew you. I knew your name, and I knew the purpose I would one day entrust to you. I meticulously knit you together in your mother's womb with a precision that would baffle the wisest of men. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. I chose the exact shade of your eyes to reflect the light I placed within you. I chose the specific resonance of your voice and the unique pattern of your fingerprints. You are not mass-produced. You are a custom-designed, one-of-a-kind original. There is a specific frequency that only your soul can emit, and a specific light that only your presence can bring into a darkened room. I did not create you to blend in or to merely survive. I created you to stand out as a beacon of my glory. When I look at you, I do not see the flaws you obsess over. I see your infinite potential. I see the hero, the provider, the healer, and the light bearer. Your design is perfect for the destiny I have written for you, and no part of you is an accident. Hear me now. My beloved, you are worthy. You are worthy of deep, unconditional love that asks for nothing in return. You are worthy of overflowing abundance that allows you to live with an open hand. You are worthy of a peace that surpasses all understanding, even in the midst of chaos. Do not let the spirit of unworthiness rob you of the blessings I am currently pouring out. For too long you have pushed away the good I sent your way, because a voice in your head told you that you hadn't earned it. But my grace is not a wage to be earned. It is a gift to be received. I am breaking the curse of not enough from your life today. I am restoring your self-worth, and I am opening your eyes to see the royalty that flows through your veins. You are mine, you are beautiful, and in you I am well pleased. I see you, my child, in the hidden places you've built for yourself. I see the way you retreat when the world feels too loud, and the way you hesitate before answering the phone, and the way you shrink back when opportunity knocks, fearing you aren't enough. I see the shadows where you hide your dreams, tucked away like a secret shame because you are afraid of being judged or failing once again. You are like Gideon threshing wheat in a wine press, a place meant for treading grapes, not for processing grain, simply because he was terrified of the enemies lurking outside. You have been living in a mental wine press, trying to survive in a cramped space of fear, while your destiny is meant for the open threshing floor. I have seen your heart racing at the thought of the future, and I know the exhaustion that comes from constant vigilance. But I am not here to scold you for your fear. I am here to find you in it. I am standing at the entrance of your hiding place, calling you by a name you haven't dared to call yourself. The walls of your isolation are not a fortress. They are a cocoon, and the time for your emergence is at hand. Do not let the fear of what might go wrong blind you to the reality of what I am about to do right. I am stepping into your hiding place today to tear off the labels the world has stuck upon your soul. For years you have worn the tags of failure, rejected, weak, and overlooked. You have allowed the opinions of people who do not know your true origin to define your worth. But I am the one who designed your spirit, and I am rewriting your identity. Just as I looked at Gideon, a man hiding in fear, and addressed him as mighty warrior, I am looking at you right now and calling you champion. I do not call you based on what you are currently doing. I call you based on who I created you to be. I am peeling away the shame and the self-doubt that have acted as a shroud over your potential. You may feel like a coward, but I see a conqueror. You may feel broken, but I see a builder. Every time the enemy whispers that you are nothing, I am shouting from the heavens that you are everything to me. It is time to stop agreeing with the darkness. I am placing a new mantle upon your shoulders, a mantle of authority, courage, and divine purpose. The label of victim is being burned away by the fire of my love, and in its place, I am branding you with the mark of victor. Believe it, receive it, and let it sink into the marrow of your bones. You do not need to feel strong to start. You only need to start, and I will provide the strength. I told Gideon, go in the strength you have, and I am saying the same to you today. You don't need a mountain of confidence or a perfect plan. You only need a mustard seed of willingness. As you take that first step out of your hiding place, you will find that the ground beneath your feet becomes firm. I am breathing my own breath into your lungs, giving you a boldness that you did not possess yesterday. The giants that seemed so tall when you were crouching will look small when you are standing beside me. I am the Lord your God, who holds your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from a victory that has already been won. The days of hiding are over. The days of leading are here. Take heart, my child, for I have overcome the world, and I am in you. My beloved one, I want to speak to you about those dreams you have buried in the backyard of your heart, the ones you have covered with the dirt of it's too late, and the stones of it's impossible. I see the quiet grief you carry for the things you thought would have happened by now, the family you haven't started, the business that didn't take flight, the healing that seems to have bypassed your door. I have seen you look at your age, your bank account, and the current state of the world, and conclude that the window of opportunity has slammed shut. You feel like a barren land, dry and cracked, where nothing of value can ever grow again. But I want you to know that I am the God of the impossible odds. I do not work within the constraints of human biology, nor am I limited by the fluctuations of an earthly economy. Your impossible is merely the canvas upon which I am about to paint my greatest masterpiece. Just as I visited Sarah when she was far beyond the years of childbearing, and turned her silent sorrow into a roar of laughter, I am visiting you today. The dreams you thought were dead are not dead. They are simply sleeping, waiting for the sound of my voice to call them forth. I am the God of divine conception, and I am breathing life into your spirit right now. You do not need the world's permission to succeed. You do not need the approval of logic to receive my promise. I am moving beyond the natural laws to bring about a supernatural result in your life. Understand this, my promises are not dependent on your perfection or your past. They are dependent on my power and my faithfulness. When I spoke to Sarah, she laughed in disbelief because she looked at her own body and saw only limitation. But I looked at her and saw a mother of nations. Stop looking at your limitations and start looking at my infinity. I am planting a seed of greatness within you that no storm can wash away and no enemy can uproot. This promise is growing in the secret place in the quiet moments of your faith. It is a divine acceleration that will bring forth a harvest in a single season that should have taken a lifetime. You are about to birth something so significant that it will not only change your life, but will leave a legacy for generations to come. However, I must give you a fatherly warning. Do not try to help me with your own strength. Do not rush into an Ishmael because you are tired of waiting for your Isaac. In your impatience, it is tempting to settle for a shadow of the promise to force a door open that I have not yet unlocked, or to compromise your values just to see a result. But an Ishmael will only bring you more labor and sorrow. I am asking you to wait for the Isaac, the true, perfect, and effortless promise that comes only from my hand. Isaac means laughter, and I want your joy to be full and untainted by the stress of human striving. When I bring the promise to pass, it will not be because you manipulated the circumstances. It will be because you yielded to my spirit. Be still and know that I am God. Your role is not to manufacture the miracle, but to remain in a posture of surrender and belief. The labor may be intense, but the joy of the birth will make you forget every pang of the past. I am watching over you, my precious one, and I am faithful to complete the good work I have started in you. The time of barrenness is over. The time of birthing has begun. Can you feel the movement of the promise within you? It is alive, it is growing, and it is coming to pass exactly when it should. Trust the master of time. My precious child, I have seen you sitting in the dust of your own Lo-Debar. I have watched you hide in that place where the name itself means no pasture and no word. It is a land of silence, a place where dreams go to wither, and where the forgotten souls of the world huddle in the shadows of their own perceived failures. I have seen you there feeling like a burden to those around you, crippled by the accidents of your past and the brokenness of your own spirit. You have lived in the ruins of what could have been looking at your life, and seeing only the limitations of your lame feet, the mistakes you cannot undo, and the circumstances you cannot change. You have grown comfortable in the darkness, believing that you are invisible to the palace, convinced that the king has moved on and that your lineage of royalty has been severed forever. But I want you to know that while you were hiding in Lo-Debar, I was speaking your name in the halls of heaven. I have not forgotten the covenant of love I made with your soul before the foundations of the world were laid. Your current location of lack is not your permanent destination. It is merely the place where I am coming to find you. I am sending a divine carriage to your doorstep today, and its arrival will be the end of your exile. Do not shrink back when my messengers knock on the door of your heart. I know the first thought that enters your mind. Why would the king want a dead dog like me? You look at your debts, your failed relationships, and your shaking hands, and you feel entirely unworthy of the abundance I am offering. You think you need to fix your feet before you can enter my presence. but listen to my voice. Your invitation to the king's table is not based on your ability to walk uprightly. It is based on my mercy and my unchanging promise. I am not calling you because you are perfect. I am calling you because you are mine. I am restoring to you everything that the enemy has stolen from your family line. I am returning the lands of peace, the titles of honor, and the wealth of influence that were stripped away by the bitterness of life. The days of scavenging for crumbs in the desert are over. You are being summoned to the banquet hall of the Most High, and your seat is already reserved. When you finally take your place at my table, I want you to notice something miraculous. The tablecloth of my grace covers everything beneath it. When you sit with me, the world no longer sees your brokenness, your limp, or the scars of your struggle. They only see your proximity to the King. I am restoring your royal status this very hour. I am taking the spirit of a pauper and replacing it with the heart of a prince, the soul of a princess. I am washing the dust of the desert from your skin and clothing you in the finest linen of my favor. I want you to lift up your head and look into my eyes. See the love that has hunted you down in the furthest corners of your despair. See the pride I take in your resilience. You are no longer an outcast. You are a chosen heir, a royal priest, and a light bearer to the nations. The poverty mindset that has kept your vision small and your prayers timid is being shattered right now. You are moving from the land of not enough to the land of more than enough. And I am the one who is personally escorting you across the border. The King has remembered you, and the feast is about to begin. Every resource you need is already at the table, and every enemy that chased you is barred from the gate. Walk with your head held high, for you are royalty, and the palace doors are swinging wide just for you. Your season of being forgotten is finished. Your season of being favored has arrived. My precious one, I hear your cries for a mountain-moving miracle. I hear you asking for a massive breakthrough, a sudden windfall, or a door so large that no one could possibly miss it. You have been looking at the giants in your path and praying for an army to appear. But I am here to tell you that the victory you seek is already within your grasp. You feel small and ill-equipped, like a soldier sent to war without armor. You look at your bank account, your single set of skills, or the humble tools of your daily trade, and you think, Lord, this is nothing. How can I possibly change my life with this? But I am the God who uses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. I am the God who takes the little and turns it into more than enough. I am not looking at what you lack. I am looking at what you are holding right now. Stop waiting for the world to hand you a sword when I have already given you a slingshot. Stop waiting for $1 million when I have given you $1 million idea that you are currently ignoring because it looks too small to matter. Think of my servant Moses. When I called him to face the greatest empire of his day, he was filled with excuses. He saw himself as a stuttering shepherd with nothing to offer but a piece of wood, a simple staff used for leaning on and herding sheep. It was common, worn, and seemingly worthless in the face of Pharaoh's chariots. But I asked him a question that I am asking you today. What is that in your hand? When Moses surrendered that ordinary staff to me, it ceased to be a shepherd's tool and became the rod of God. With that simple piece of wood, he turned rivers to blood, brought plagues upon the stubborn, and eventually he held it over the Red Sea and watched as the waters parted to create a dry path for an entire nation. The power was not in the staff. The power was in the surrender of what he already had. I am not waiting for you to acquire more. I am waiting for you to give me what you have. I want you to take an inventory of your life right now. What is that skill you've dismissed? What is that old contact you've hesitated to call? What is that small amount of seed money you've been hoarding out of fear? I am breathing my supernatural life into your natural resources. Just as the widow's small jar of oil did not run dry until every vessel was full, the small thing in your hand is about to experience a divine multiplication. Your instruction for this hour is simple: use what you have where you are with what you've got. Do not wait for the perfect conditions, for the clouds will never be exactly right for the person who waits for the perfect wind. Take that small idea and write it down. Take that small skill and offer it to someone who needs it. Take that small seed and plant it in fertile soil. When you move your hand, I move mine. When you step out in faith with the little, I meet you with the much. I am the God who makes a way where there is no way. But I often use the very thing you've been stepping over to build the bridge to your future. The giants are falling, the seas are parting. It all begins with what you are holding right now. Trust me with your staff and watch me manifest my glory in your life. The resource you ignored is the key to the palace you've been praying for. My beloved child, I want to reveal to you a mystery that the world cannot comprehend, and the mystery of how I use the things that are considered discarded, dirty, and utterly trivial to bring about the greatest victories in history. I see you looking at your life and seeing only scraps. You see a background that is messy, a past that is tainted, and tools that seem beneath the dignity of the destiny you desire. You feel like you are standing on a battlefield with nothing but a pebble while your enemies are armed with steel. But remember my servant Samson. When he was surrounded by 1,000 enemies who sought his life, he did not find a sword or a shield. He looked down and found the jawbone of a donkey, a bleached dry bone lying in the dust, something considered unclean and worthless. Yet when he picked up that trivial object and allowed my spirit to rush through him, that discarded bone became a weapon of mass destruction. He defeated an entire army with what others would have stepped over. I am telling you today, do not despise your jawbone. That hobby you think is a waste of time, that minor connection you think is beneath you, or that painful memory you want to bury. These are the very things I am about to anoint to give you the victory. I have watched you at your kitchen table looking at the last of your resources, feeling exactly like the widow of Zarephath. I saw you when you reached the bottom of the jar and found only a handful of flour and a little oil. I heard the whisper in your soul that said, "This is it. This is the last meal. After this, we die." You have reached the point of total exhaustion where you feel you have nothing left to give, nothing left to try, and no more strength to hope. But it is in that precise moment of total surrender, when you are willing to give me your last bit, that I unlock the infinite. The widow gave her last meal to my prophet, and because she honored the divine instruction over her own fear, her jars never ran dry until the drought was over. I am not asking for your abundance. I am asking for your faithfulness in the small, trivial things. When you place your last in my hands, it ceases to be a limit and becomes a seed. I am the God of multiplication, and I am about to blow upon the embers of your life until they become a consuming fire of favor. I am issuing a prophetic declaration over your life right now. In the next 3 to 7 days, an opportunity or a tool that looks entirely trivial will cross your path. It might be a random email, a conversation with a stranger in a grocery line, or a sudden urge to revisit an old forgotten project. Do not ignore it. Do not dismiss it because it doesn't look like a burning bush or a parting sea. I often wrap my greatest miracles in the most mundane packaging to see if you are truly watching. I am testing your sensitivity to my whisper. If you believe that I am bringing strength out of your weakness and multiplication out of your lack, do not stay silent. Claim this prophetic window right now. Type "I believe in my breakthrough" or 888 in the comments to signal that your spiritual eyes are open and ready to catch the signal. Like this video and subscribe to stay aligned with the rhythm of my spirit, for you are entering the most supernatural week of your year. The world says you need a mountain of gold to build a kingdom, but I say all you need is a mustard seed of faith and a willingness to use the worthless things I have placed in your path. I am the one who turned water into wine and a boy's lunch into a feast for thousands. I am doing the same for you. The things people mocked you for, the traits they called weird or useless, are about to become your greatest assets. I am sharpening your jawbone into a blade of excellence. I am turning your last meal into a permanent supply. You are not finishing. You are starting over with a power that does not come from human effort. Trust the process of the trivial, for it is the birthing room of the magnificent. I am with you in the small things, and I am leading you into the great. My child, as we reach this sacred conclusion, I want to show you the final secret of the kingdom, the mystery of the overflow. You have seen how I can multiply the little and how I can accelerate time, but there is a final step that seals the blessing into your life. Think of the thousands who sat on the grass, hungry and tired, with only 5 loaves and 2 fish among them. The miracle did not happen while the bread was tucked away in the boy's basket. And the miracle did not happen while it was merely admired in my hands. The miracle happened in the distribution. It was in the breaking, in the giving, in the releasing, that the small became more than enough. This is the law of the flow. You were never created to be a reservoir, holding everything tightly until fear evaporates your peace. You were created to be a river. When you become a river, you stop living with clenched fists and start living with open hands. And I know what you are thinking. But Lord, what if I give? And there is not enough left for me. My beloved, that question is the voice of survival speaking from an old season. But I am bringing you into a new season, the season where you learn that I do not bless you to trap you. I bless you to move through you. Listen closely. Distribution is not just money. Distribution is encouragement when you are tired. It is kindness when you feel empty. It is prayer when your own heart is bruised. It is forgiveness when you have every reason to hold a grudge. It is serving when no one applauds you. And yes, sometimes distribution is a seed. A seed can be time. A seed can be a gift. A seed can be an offering. A seed can be support for the work that feeds your spirit. What matters is not the size of the seed. What matters is the surrender within it. Because when you release what is in your hand, you release what is in my heart. I am teaching you this because the enemy has tried to chain you to a life of scarcity thinking. He wanted you to believe that if you loosen your grip, you will lose everything. But I am breaking that lie right now. I am rewiring your spirit to understand heaven's economy in my kingdom. Nothing truly multiplies until it is trusted enough to move. You have been praying for increase, but I am also teaching you trust. You have been asking for overflow, but I am also shaping your posture. Because overflow is not merely what you receive, it is what you carry without fear, what you steward without pride, and what you release without anxiety. And now, my child, stand before you, not just as your creator, but as the vindicator of your soul and the restorer of your years. I am summarizing every promise I have whispered to you today. The divine acceleration that collapses years into days. The restoration that brings you out of the shadows of Lodabar and into the light of the palace and the royal identity that reminds you that you are my masterpiece. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are not too damaged. You are mine. I am laying my hand upon your weary head right now. And in this holy moment, I am speaking peace to the storm in your mind and healing to the fractures in your heart. Every bit of trauma, every ounce of shame, every whisper of not enough is being washed away by the blood of the covenant. I am lifting heaviness off your chest like a garment that never belonged to you. I am loosening the grip of anxiety around your throat. I am restoring your breath, your spiritual breath, so you can dream again without flinching. I am placing a new strength into your bones and a fresh fire into your spirit. You will not be the same after this. You will not return to the old you, the you that lived in survival mode, the you that expected disappointment, the you that apologized for existing. The seasons of drought are officially closing, and I am not simply sending rain, I am opening gates. Gates of favor, gates of opportunity, gates of clarity, gates of divine connection. The harvest is not coming to mock you, it is coming to mark you. I am not only giving you enough to recover, I am giving you enough to rebuild, enough to breathe, enough to rest, enough to create, enough to bless, enough to become a testimony that silences the enemy's accusations. My beloved, are you ready? The door to your new life is already ajar, and the light of 1,000 dawns is beginning to spill into the room. Can you sense it? The atmosphere is shifting. The heaviness is lifting. The darkness that once felt permanent is losing its authority. This is not the end of our conversation. It is the beginning of the most faithful season of your life. Your story is being rewritten by the finger of God. The pages ahead are filled with favor, wisdom, divine surprises, and holy laughter. Do not be afraid of the greatness I placed within you. Do not shrink when I call you forward. When I promote you, you do not need to defend yourself. When I open a door, you do not need to force anything. When I accelerate time, you do not need to fear what you lost, because I am the God who restores. Now hear me. I have sealed this word into the fabric of your soul. But sealing is not only something I do, it is also something you respond to. So here is your final act of faith in this encounter. Do not let this word sit on the surface of your emotions and fade when life gets loud again. Anchor it, claim it, agree with heaven. Type "I receive my destiny" or "Amen" in the comments to seal this prophecy over your life. And if you feel led to sow into what is feeding your spirit right now, if you want to participate in the miracle of distribution, then you may leave a super thanks as a seed of faith and support, not out of pressure, not out of fear, but out of agreement, out of gratitude, out of partnership with the flow of the kingdom. Your seed is not just a button. It is a quiet, holy statement: Lord, I trust you. I release what is in my hand, believing you will multiply what is in your heart. Like this video as your sign of full agreement and subscribe so you remain covered and connected as we keep walking forward together. Share this message with someone who is tired, someone who feels late, someone who thinks they've been forgotten, because as you carry light to them, my light will shine even brighter upon you. I have blessed you. I have chosen you. I have called you by name. It is done. It is finished. It is settled in heaven. Go in peace, my child, because the King of Kings is walking beside you, and the season ahead will prove it.